Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first video with me, welcome. I'm Veguilla-Lezan and I'm the creative behind the Freelance Life. I'm a freelance graphic designer, illustrator, and educator based out of the Midwest, and I run Bella and Sophia Creative Studio. On this channel, you will find an assortment of studio vlogs and creative tutorials relating to things like graphic design, surface pattern design, and illustration. Today, I'm going to be guiding you through my creative process for making stickers at home using the Silhouette Portrait. It's a lot easier than it seems. We will go through my process from the artwork to exporting, loading to the software, printing, and then cutting with the machine. If you don't have a Silhouette, but you do have a Cricut machine, I do have a class over on Skillshare that shows my entire process using the Cricut. I'll be sure to link it in the description box below. Let's get started. So when it comes to creating stickers, the first and foremost thing you're gonna need is a design. So I like to create my designs using Procreate or Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. You can do those as well, but for this particular set of stickers, I created the illustrations in Procreate. I was using these for my surface pattern design course over on Skillshare, and I figured I could repurpose them and turn the illustrations into a fun set of like Hawaii food inspired stickers. So I created the illustrations in Procreate. I did all of the outlines, the drawings, the coloring, and then what I like to do is add a white outline as well in order to have like cut lines. And then I export this file as a PNG. And when I'm exporting, what's really nice, because I'm working in a Mac environment, I'm able to just airdrop that final file to my desktop, and that's what I did. And I make sure that it's a PNG file so that there's no white background other than the cut lines that I've given the file. That's really important when it comes to this way of creating stickers using Silhouette or even the Cricut as well. You want to have a transparent PNG, which means there's no white background other than the white outlines that you've added to your sticker elements. So the next thing I'm going to want to do then is basically launch my Silhouette software. So the portrait comes with Silhouette Studio. That's the software that you will utilize to set up your cut files and communicate with your portrait machine. You'll want to make sure that once you launch everything, that your portrait is set up, it's connected to your computer, and that it's turned on. You'll know it's turned on because there'll be a green light. What we'll do first is set up this file, and then we'll do kind of like a print and cut. Once you launch Silhouette Studio, this is what it looks like. This is the design interface. What you can do is place an image by going into your little file options here in the upper left hand corner. So there's something that looks like an open file, so you just click on that, select open, and then you'll get a pop-up that allows you to navigate through your file system so that you can find the file that you're looking for. So in my case, I'm going to go into my downloads because I exported that artwork from Procreate. I'm going to hit OK, and then it'll place it into this. And what you'll notice is that my file is really, really big, and your file may be as well. That's okay. What you want to do is resize this. What we'll need to do now, once we've placed it, because it's so big, is resize. So to resize, you'll see you have kind of like a bounding box. I'm going to bring it over here to the middle so you can see. And you'll be able to resize this down. What I suggest is dragging in from the corner and holding shift on your keyboard so that everything stays in proportion. And then you can just resize this down to the size that you want it. So I've set this up because I'm working in a raster system. When it comes to Procreate, I always make my files bigger than they need to be so that I don't lose any resolution when I am exporting and loading these things and cutting them and whatnot. You could always size down, you can't size up. So I always prefer to make things bigger than they need to be. And I've set this up so that I can cut 2 of these files in my workspace. So what I'm going to do is select this, and then I'm going to go into edit, and I'm going to select copy, and then I'm going to select paste, and then I'm just going to drag it down. And we may need to make this a little bit smaller in order for it to fit in the cutting area. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this right now. You'll see kind of like a gray bounding box that'll tell you what your area is. Or you can also go into your design area setup on the right hand side, and you want to make sure your registration marks are turned on so you can see exactly where everything needs to be placed in. And what's nice is with your registration marks over here on the right hand side, you'll find that by clicking on the page setup panel, which is this first icon at the top. I had it automatically open because that's just how I had my system last. And then what you'll do is you'll go into your registration marks and you'll turn it on. That's like the hardest part I had with a lot of the tutorials that I've seen on this is being able to find some of these elements because of the fact that the Portrait 3 basically had kind of like a software update, and the interface looks different than the older version. So this is what the new version looks like. This is where you'll be able to find your registration marks. You want to make sure you turn them on, and then what's nice is you can adjust the length and the width. The thing is though, you don't want to do it too much because you don't want the registration marks to be outside of that gray bounding box that you'll see on the center screen here. If that is the case, your registration marks will not read. You will get error messages. You will go crazy trying to cut. So make sure that those red lines are inside of that gray bounding box. I know we like to adjust the inset so that we can get the most amount of paper used, but I've found that if you're having issues with your cutting machine not cutting and not reading the registration marks, it's because your registration marks are being cut off when they're printed. What's nice with the silhouette is that it allows you to cut two different things. So if you have, say, your sticker cut and then you had a background with like your branding and things like that you need to cut once, you can do that as well, and you'll be able to cut at different pressures. So in this case, I have a backer, so I'm going to add that to this as well. And then I'm just going to resize it and reorientate it so that everything is where I need it to be. So once I put my sticker back first, I'm going to resize it so that it fits inside. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to paste in front my stickers, and then I'm going to resize them so that they fit inside this little backing area that I wanted. And once I've done that, I'm just going to delete that other version, and I'm going to select both of these by clicking on the stickers, holding shift, and then clicking on the back. And then I'm going to go to object, and I'm going to group these together just so that they're together as one. And then I'm going to go into edit. I'm going to select copy, go back to edit, select paste. And then I'm going to drag this down to the bottom. And I'm just going to adjust so that everything is nice on this one page. Once I've copied and pasted everything, once I've adjusted my placement, then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to ungroup these elements, and I'll show you why in a moment. What's that? I'm going to go back into object. I'm going to select ungroup for my first set, and then go and click on my second set, go back into object and select ungroup again. And then what I'm going to do is select just the stickers, and then I'm going to go over to my right hand side and I'm going to go to my trace panel, and that looks like that little butterfly icon. So once we've done that, then we're going to select the stickers, and I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to select both sets of stickers to make this easier. And then when it comes to my trace style, I'm not going to select trace area. I'm just going to go down and select trace outer edge. And basically what this does is just trace the outside edge of my PNG where that white mark is. And it makes it a lot easier than trying to adjust within your fill preview. If you're exporting as a PNG, this allows you to be quicker when it comes to actually setting up your cut lines. I don't have to worry about adjusting the threshold and things like that because I've already created my outline when I was working in Procreate, and I want just those edges cut. And then after that, I'm going to select my actual backer as well, and I'm going to select trace outer edge as well, and it'll make sure to just trace that outer edge of the backer so that I can adjust the pressure for that too. Once I'm done with the placement of everything, then I can go back in and group those elements again, and then I'm going to select both of them so that they're both aligned properly. So I'm going to click on the first one and then select the second, and then I'm going to go into my alignment tools, which are in the upper menu here. They'll look like 3 graphs, I guess, and then what I want to do is align it to the left so that everything is all in one place. So once I've done that, then I can start the actual cutting and printing process. So I'm going to go to send. And what you want to make sure you see is that both of your outline as well as your stickers on the inside have cut lines, but that the text isn't cutting. So this is exactly what I want. I am noticing though that some of my elements are really close to the edge. So I'm gonna go back into my design and adjust before I send this to the printer so that I don't have any issues with cutting these out. So I'm gonna go back in my design menu, go to the 2 elements, select them both, and then I'm gonna go into object and I'm going to ungroup them. And then I'm going to select the inside stickers for both of them. I'll click on the first one, hold shift, and then click on the second one. And then I want to make sure these are both aligned properly as well. And then I'm going to resize them together so everything's the same size and consistent. So I'm going to go into my alignment tools here at the top menu. I'm going to select left align. And then I'm just going to hold shift and I'm going to drag in from my corners and I'm just going to resize these just a bit. And then I'm going to center them within my sticker pack here. And then once I'm done, I can go back in and regroup everything. I'll click on my first element, hold shift, click on my second, go into my menu up top, go to object, select group. And then I'm going to do the same thing for my top selections as well. Click on the first. Within the stickers, hold shift, select the backer, and then go into object and select group. And now I'm going to go back into my send menu and I'm going to double check that everything looks okay within the sticker layout, and it does. Nothing is too close to the edge. I have the stickers outlined and then my backer sheet outlined. What I want to do though is make sure that the cutting pressure for my inside stickers is just slightly different than my outside edge. I'm going to do kiss cut for these, so I don't want as much pressure for the stickers as I want for my outside edges. So what I'm going to do is go into my line and I am going to adjust it so that my stickers have that red line, and then I'm going to check mark where my paper is. It's just that second option. So now we'll go to our send, and what we want to do is make sure that our portrait is connected. If you're seeing something that says unavailable, just click on the little icon in the lower left hand side on this right little menu and you'll get a pop-up that shows all the available devices. I've connected my device already, and then what we want to make sure we do now is adjust the settings for our cut pressure for the stickers and for the actual outline. So what I'm going to do is, instead of simple, I'm going to go to line, and this will give me the 2 different lines that I'm working with, and I'll be able to adjust the pressure for each individual element. So for my stickers here, I'm gonna go for like the kiss cut area, I'm gonna go to sticker paper, white. And then for the outline, I'm gonna keep it the same, but what you'll notice is that you'll get these options at the bottom. So for this first one, what I wanna do is adjust my cutting pressure. So I'm going to go down to this bottom. I'm going to make sure I click on my red option, my inside stickers, and I'm going to go down to this bottom area, and it automatically gives me my auto blade detection, which is fine. I'm going to have my auto blade as my tool. My action is cutting, but what we're going to do is adjust these little areas for force and speed. We're going to update it from 10 down to, I'd say, about 5. Keep our speed at 9. We only need to do 1 pass. And then I'm going to bring our pressure meter down to 2. And then I'm going to click on the outline, and I'm going to keep the outline at 10 and our force at 20 and our speed at 9, so that it has a greater force and a greater pressure, so that it fully cuts through like a die cut. And then we're going to go to our printer and we're going to print this out. And we're going to select print. We're going to adjust our print settings. I'm going to keep my presets at fine printing on plain paper. And then I'm going to go where it says layout, and I'm going to change color. I'm going to change it to color options. And then I'm going to change my sample type from standard to graphics. And then I'm just going to adjust my colors just a bit, just so that I get a nice color output. I'm going to adjust my intensity and my contrast, and then I'm going to select print. Once you've printed off your stickers, then we need to apply the stickers to the mat. Once we've applied the sticker to the mat, just keeping in mind placement, it doesn't have to be perfect. My paper is a little bit bigger than the guidelines, but what's nice is that this is based on the markers that are on your paper, so you don't have to stress so much. So once I've placed them, then I can start to load everything into my portrait machine. And what's really important with the portrait is that you line your mat up with the left-hand side. When you're looking at your portrait, it's going to be the left-hand side. I put a little mark so I know, and it's going to be that second line in from the left. You want to make sure that the left edge of your mat matches up with this line. And you're going to want to utilize the little up and down arrows on your machine. And you're going to press the up arrow so that it drags it into your machine and gets it held tightly. And then we can go back to our silhouette design software. And then what we'll do is hit send, and what we want to make sure happens is that the sensor is reading our registration mark. So let's hit send. Once you're done, you can save your file, but then what we can do is just look and see what the final product looks like. The goal was to have our whole entire outline of the square die cut, and then just the kiss cuts be for the center parts where the stickers are. And these turned out really great. The die cut is just for the outside part, and then as we pull up the whole sticker sheet, you'll see that the rest of the elements are indeed kiss cut. And that's it. So the kiss cut turned out really lovely. The adjustments between the outline of the stickers and then the outline of the sticker backer, and being able to edit how much pressure and how much force is used on each of these different lines is what I think makes Silhouette a bit superior when it comes to things like, competitors like Cricut. I hope you found this tutorial helpful and that you feel more comfortable using your Silhouette portrait. If you want to check out my sticker designs, you can find me over on Etsy at Bella Sophia Creative, and you can always check out my work at www.bellasophiacreative.com. If you like this video, show your support and leave me a like, and let me know what other tutorials you would like in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for your support. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.